Okay, so last blog we talked about a whole new way to look at your business, and that is through the lens of the 5 SMART building blocks. And I know we went through those very, very briefly with just a couple of examples. I think it might be worth pursuing that some more, but obviously I don't want to do that today because I've already shared something on my screen here with you. Because what I've decided to do first is to back up a little and actually share with you the 3 SMART models that I work with as the underpinning to all of the work that we want to do. And so that led me to say, okay, so here's courageous step number 2, sharing with you my other SMART leader model. Now the third one, just so you know, will be SMART goal setting, the way it was originally designed, but with a modern tweak. So today we're going to talk about leader making, because it is so interesting to me that people think that we're born leaders or we're not, and so that means we're good at it or we're not, and we just have to be stuck with that. And that is a lot like the old ideological model that says we're creative or we're not. In fact, we are all very creative. We are creative in ways that are interesting to us. And so, maybe you have an engineering type mind, which means you might not be creative in the traditional sense because you're not artistic, right? But through the lens of engineering, you might very well be extremely creative and might not have even had discovered that until you were an adult, which is all too commonly sad and true. So leaders are not born, leaders are made. So this is a SMART leader making model. Some of us might have aptitude for one or two of these areas more than others, but they're all learnable, they're all teachable. And as a business owner and as a business manager, you've got to have these skills to some lesser or greater degree, depending on the amazingness you want to show and the size you want to get. The amount of people you want to influence and the amount of people you want to lead through into something new and strange. Because the stranger your concepts, the more you're going to have to be kind of dragging people, right? The more original, the more interesting, the more non-traditional your concepts, the more you're going to be having to really take some of these skills and habits on so that people are willing to trust you through this new and strange territory that you will be having to take them. So when we look at leader making, these are the 5 primary areas of focus that you want to put your attention on when you're looking for leadership development. And if any services or programs, mentorships, coaching, Harvard Business School has quite a few leadership development programs. Other universities are starting to catch on to them, although they are rather pricey. You want to make sure that these are the areas of your skill and your habits that they're addressing. First of all, that they're helping you become a strategic thinker, understanding the difference between strategy and tactics, and recognizing that you are learning through habit and through better understanding to focus on the things that are strategic to moving your company where you think you want it to go, which is part of being strategic. Another element is being mindful. As leaders of our companies, we don't always get to take a break or be on vacation, right? And so especially when you're around your people, you want to be mindful of how you're showing up, how you're interacting. When you're around clients and potential clients, you again want to be mindful. This can seem exhausting or tiresome or burdensome, or it can just become a habit that you create because it's who you want to be, because you want to do something amazing with your company. You can have your pick at that. You really want to learn to embrace accountability. And I know that a lot of my cowboy entrepreneurs fight that one tooth and nail. They want to make their people accountable, but they don't want to do it. And I'm pretty sure, being an entrepreneur myself, that's because we're not very accountable by nature, us natural entrepreneurs. And so, we don't want to be muscled under or trained or taught into that. And here's what I want to suggest to you. 2 things. 1, tough titty. And 2, it's just habits. It's no big deal. You are not squishing under the pressures of any kind of unwarranted or unwanted way of being, or box or slot or hole, or whatever story it is you've made up about that. Being accountable is just having good habits around what you said you would do. That's all it is. Okay. So being resilient, this I think we all know is hugely important. Being able to take a couple punches and get back up. Because if you're going to grow anything, sometimes you're going to make some wrong moves. And you just have to lean into that, accept it, and go on. There are actually some resiliency building habits that you can create for yourself, and some resiliency building skills that you can develop through different games and training. So isn't that cool and exciting? And then there's tenaciousness. Now, I think you have to be careful here because, so for instance, for years I thought I was tenacious, but in fact I was just pig-headed stubborn. And you want to be careful with that. Pig-headed stubborn is not very helpful because it means that you're generally closed to others' ideas. You got a vision and that's all great and good. But if you can't accept that maybe your vision didn't come straight out of the box just right, then being pig-headed and bull-headed is going to be very difficult. It's going to make getting your project forward very, very difficult. And it's going to make moving your widget to a larger arena very, very hard on you and everybody. And so you'll start to see a lot of fallout in your staff. You'll see a lot of quitting and all that sort of thing because you're just too tough. But when you're tenacious, that doesn't say that you're pig-headed, right? It just means that you're willing to keep hanging on. You're still willing to keep coming at it. You bounced, and then you're coming back in with a fresh idea or a fresh set of spirit, right? You bounced with your resiliency, and then you're saying, okay, what are we going to do differently? Because that really sucked, right? And so I think these are the 5 primary elements that if you can at least to some degree kind of own each one of these, then you've got a heck of a good chance at really taking your company to whatever level that it is. And if you don't, they are all learnable, teachable skills and acumen that especially in this day and age with all the science of the mind stuff hanging out there. Oh gosh, you guys, I'm going to have to be sharing some more of that with you soon, by the way. Those classes are going so well. But anyway, so these things are very, very learnable, right? So really embrace that, keep that in mind. And once again, guys, we weren't born with this stuff, and it is not likely that we learned it in school or from our parents. And so the fact that you don't have all this stuff totally nailed, not a shock, and no big deal. Just go fix it. So you are home perfect just the way you are, although you might need a little more knowledge. Please don't forget that my fantastic, amazing, and free webinar is tomorrow. In case anyone is interested, you can sign up from the last blog or my website somewhere and all kinds of other places if you're on my mailing list. And what else? I guess that's about it. Thank you so much. I'm going to be launching my book a little bit later than I had planned because I have been so inundated with the launch of my new program. But I hope that y'all look forward to it coming out, and I'll let you know when it does. All right. Have a great day, week, month, and I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.